Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sergeant Alex here, and I'm bringing you a free build. Just a little house I saw, and I thought it would be neat. So I have a couple pictures next to me, and I grabbed pretty much everything. The stuff that I think I'm going to use. I'm going to use dark oak for the roof, spruce for the lower half, oak for the top half. I have some stone brick and andesite for some decorating the house, and I grabbed some other stuff because I was thinking the video might be a little too short, so I could do some extra details by adding pathway. But after trying to record it with a live commentary and coming to about half an hour of footage, I think we're good on just building the house. I jump around on the outside a little bit, and then I have a couple inside stuff for tips and tricks, but really it's common knowledge stuff, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. But I am excited with some of the new blocks they've added, like the stairs and slabs for andesite, stone, so it's more complete sets. For those of you that are new to my terminology, whenever I say a setup or a set or something like that, what I'm referring to is the full block, the stair block, and then the half slab. So an oak setup would be the oak block, oak planks block, then the plank stairs, and so on and so forth. So figured I'd toss that one in there before I get too busy. So let's jump on to building. So as what I'm trying to do with my tutorials, I'm not going to do block by block. I'm just going to do a general summarization of what I'm doing. So here I am. I'm just going to talk quickly about the wall that I want to do. I don't want to do your typical logs wall, typical plank wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using logs, and whenever I run into like a window or door, I'm going to change the direction to make it look like it's supported. So each corner is going to have some vertical logs, and then sideways, everything else is going to have sideways strip logs. So I'm going to grab planks to figure out. I'm looking at the picture right now. And one of the things I tend to do when I'm looking at a picture and I want to figure out the overall size, as I start from the corner here, is I look at like doors or windows and stuff, and I'll try and figure it out since you can't get an exact idea. Here I am, I'm placing the trap doors. I'm actually going to make a garage door out of them because there is garages on this house. It's one of the houses in my neighborhood. I just think it kind of looks neat. I want to build it in Minecraft. And I have a little window here, so I'm marking stairs out with that. And this is pretty much just the rough draft of the building, so I'm just trying to figure out the overall shape, where things are going to go. And here I can do some little tweaks and modifications as I go along. And I'm copying the exact same window layout onto the other side here. I'm trying to line everything up. I have a couple extra blocks, so that goes there. And then I just have to pop in the stairs for the windows there. And I'm deciding that the back would look a little bit better if I moved it back one more block, which is why I'm not getting into any of the building stuff and building anything major when it comes to the late design. I'm just doing a rough draft. And here I can tweak everything. And now that I know that, I can start laying down the first floor, which I tend to go 4 blocks tall with those. That way you have room for the floor, and then you're not going to be too cramped in there when you're living out of it in your little survival world, if you will. So we're going to put the walls up. We know where our windows are. We have an idea where the doors are. So pretty much anything vertical or next to like a window or a door is going to be vertical, going up straight. So we're doing that, and then the little gaps are going to be sideways. So, and the major influence on why I'm having so many vertical logs is that way you don't see the end of the wood. Everything's kind of hidden, and you have the nice little direction. So here I am framing out the window, and I'm going to pretty much copy the exact same thing on the other side. We just have this little one strip here, so some sideways logs there, same thing back here. And since I'm not sure what I'm doing with the back wall, I'm just going to do the entire thing sideways, and when I get to a section where I add a window or a door, I'll modify it from there. So getting rid of all our planks, since I don't want that to be the main block we have on the first floor here. I just want to use the strip logs. That way it gives you a little bit of a different texture than the planks and still looks overall nice. So here we're going. And we're pretty much making our way around the entire house and adding sideways logs. Or vertical, depending on where. And here we have another just plain wall section. We're copying the windows that we have on the left side of the house. Pop in a few more logs. And then we'll swing around to the garage door, which for the garage door section is pretty much going to be door. So there's not too much for the sideways logs going on. Everything's for the most part going to be vertical except for the top layer. Which for this one, just to help frame the doors a little bit better, I'm only going 3 blocks up, and then I'll do 1 solid beam across. And for the garage doors, I'm using trap doors. That way you can get a nice little texture, everything looks nice, and it's not going to mess up when it comes to the overall interior size. What I mean by that is if I moved in 1 more block to make the wall and stuff, things would look a little bit cramped inside the house, so you can still get some nice detail without sacrificing a lot of room. And under there, since it's technically a garage, I'm adding some trap doors, and once I finish popping the doors in, I'll cut away and then come back after I add the main floor for the first floor area, and then we'll figure out how to do the second floor. So after you place all your trap doors, you just flick them up, and it's a nice little garage door there. You can, in fact, place a door there. I decided to do that a little later on. I'm not sure if it's going to make it in the video, but you'll see what I'm talking about when we hop over to it. But for now, I'm going to skip over and actually, no, I'm going to wait a second because here's where I had the door. And that way we have a nice front door. Now I'm going to skip away and come back after I've added the floor. Okay, and I'm going to be back for a couple seconds here. Here we have the floor. I did some polished andesite, gravel, regular andesite, just to break up the overall stone texture. Since this is for video and I'm never going to be using this world again, I just did a quick and easy on it. If you're going to keep it around, definitely, it's worth the detail is definitely worth the extra time to make sure it looks nice. So place a couple blocks, get to a point where you can look at it and then go back to it. Now I'm getting ready for the second floor, which I'm going to finish explaining when I pop over to the roof being done. Or, well, I'm going to do the roof being made and then done. So, see you there. Okay, and here we are. I'm finishing out the overall light line. I'm doing a typical A-frame for the roof, and where the point is, I chopped it off, and now I want to line up where the balcony is going to go. There's a little balcony here that I'm doing on this build. It's not going to be functional. There's going to be a window in the middle of it, but if you wanted to, you could easily pop in a double door or a door and a window, whatever you like, and it could function as a perfectly good balcony. But I like it more for the appearance than having it for the functionality. So I placed down some logs, an upside down stair, and then a half slab. So we have the nice little point over, and it looks nice, all good. And then we're pretty much just gonna pop out the roof here. So popping one edge from there, and then on the other side, and working your way up to a typical A-frame. I left that area blank because we're gonna be putting a little bit of wall there and having something pointing out from there, but the back's pretty much all flat. And here's where I'm talking about on how to make the A-frame special. After I pop in those stairs, I do miss a block or two here when it comes to roofs. So upside down stairs so we can have something to build off of. And all you're doing is a line of half slabs on both ends, and directly in the center, a solid block. So you still get the A-frame, but it doesn't have the big pointy, well, big fine point. It still comes to a point. And I think it looks a little bit better. Some builds it works better than other ones, but for this one I think it was a nice touch. So I'm just going to do the last line of half slabs here and fix all the holes I'm punching into my beautiful roof. And let's zoom out for a final finish and realizing you missed some stair blocks on the left side of the roof there. So pop those in, then come out for the finishing touch. And you can still see it's an A-frame, but that little bit of half slab and block just takes the fine point off and gives it a little something easier to look at. So let's see if I missed anything else. I did not. So now we can come to figure out how the walls and the whole balcony is going to look here. And it's not anything big complicated. We're going to start mapping it out and then just trying to figure out how the roof's going to wrap around it, which tends to be the harder part for most roofs. So we're going to have some stairs going up, popping out here because it's a small low roof with the balcony. And then I'm going to do is just pop it in one more block and wrap everything up there. I'm filling the rest of the wall here so I know what's what. And you can get the overall appeal. Don't forget the upside down stairs. That's a small little detail that helps you figure everything out. And I'm just going to copy the whole point that we did with the A-frame here. So 2 lines of half slabs and 2 solid blocks, since we have a little 2 gap here and not an odd number. And it still looks nice, fits in with the rest of the roof. And now comes the fun part, where you have that stair block there. It kind of looks funky, so after I pop in this little, well, I'm going to swap it out with a solid block, then pop in the rest of the roof. I'm sorry. I didn't expect I was going to re-record the audio over a live commentary, but I am. I wasn't happy with the quality of it, so I decided to come back here, and hopefully the next one, a little live commentary, will come out better. And once you figure that out, all we have to do is tie in the rest of the roof. Where you have half slabs, you're just going to have to run it back. Same thing with the solid blocks. And if the solid blocks come up to a stair, you're probably just going to have to swap them out. So it just looks like it naturally goes into that roof. And with everything filled, you have a complete balcony and a nice little open floor area. Which for the second floor there, I grabbed the birch wood. I tend to use that one for the floor. It's a nice light material, and I don't typically use it for a lot of walls and stuff. I like to stick with the warmer colors. But one thing that I am going to do is I'm going to grab spruce, which we use on the first floor, but since it's in the strip log version, I think the color that you get with the spruce wood is a nice little touch. And then we're going to start punching in doors and windows. And this is the point where I was talking about earlier. You could do some windows, but I like how the doors look in the end. Sorry, not how the doors look, how the windows look. And typically I'm not going to be using the balcony. I'm just using it more for an aesthetic touch. But you can pop in doors. But I decided to go against that. That is it. So I'm going to pop in the floor, and I think I am going to make one little touch. I'm not a big fan of one, there's no windows on the second floor, and two, I don't like how you go straight from the strip logs to the wood there. I want something that'll divide it up a little bit. So one of the things that I've done is I'm finagling, trying to figure out how I want to do the windows. I settled for a 2x3 and not a 3x3 because that would look funny with the roof right there. I like to have a little bit of something in between windows and roofing. But speaking of roofing, I'm going to grab a half slab from the roof and use that to divide up the first and second floor, just something to draw your eye away from the fact that it's really flat and there's not that much going on there. So it's just a little extra touch of detail. And before I head inside to finish up the house and add a staircase so you can get up to the second floor, I do want to add one more little detail to the outside of the house, kind of break it up a little bit and add a splash of gray. What I'm going to go around in the corner is with some stair blocks and solid blocks of the stone bricks. I'm just going to add this little detail to each corner of the house. It breaks it up a little bit, adds a little bit more depth, breaks up the whole blockiness of it. Well, the fact that it's a big flat wall. And it's one of those small little details that every once in a while gets overlooked. And off camera, I went around and added a little bit of podzol and bushes to make like a little garden around it. But here I figured out the best placing for a staircase. I can't go along the back wall there because I'm going to run into the roof, and I don't feel like redesigning that just to make sure I have some head clearance. So it's going to be a 2-wide staircase down the middle of the room here, which I think is nice because one, it's going to separate that room a little bit, and it also is going to separate the up floor. So instead of having 2 big working areas, you have 4 little smaller areas that you can use. Like one can be designed to be more of a bedroom, a little storage area could be another section, and down here you could have more of a smelter crafting area. It's whatever works for you. So the stairs popped in, and you could add solid blocks, upside down blocks. I'm just going to leave it that way for a simple staircase. Gets you up and down. And here comes the little tips and tricks that I was promising at the beginning of the video. Just small little details I add when I'm doing a house. With staircases, I'll do some upside down stairs to make it look like the floor kind of goes with the staircase. And since we're right by a staircase, you could grab some trapdoors in a second. Just want to walk out and look out over my beautiful balcony and then place my windows back like nothing ever happened. But one of the things you want to think about is how you want to design all your rooms and stuff. Do you want walls? Do you want a whole open floor plan? I like to use the acacia trapdoors as a kind of little bit of railing at the top of the staircases to keep people from falling on down and hurting their legs and stuff. So wrapping that around the staircase, and one thing I love about staircases is a good reason to place a wall. I'm just going to grab the roof color here for the simplicity sake. And you don't want to go behind the staircase typically, because now it's going to look a little weird. You have that little walled off section, you can still see the entire room. What's better is to come out one block to the side of the staircase. So let's get rid of this here, and you can pop in the wall that way, so it blocks off a little bit more of the room and you still have access to it. Maybe pop in a door. Just for this video, it's going to be an open walking area, so you have a nice little area to get in and out of the room. And let's pop down that trapdoor again, so you can walk in and out of there. This upstairs is kind of broken up, so maybe this spot being here, your bedroom, you can look over everything. In this area over here, you have more of a storage area or a little entry guest area. And down here, you have a nice wall in the back, so you can make your trapdoor. You can put your furnaces there and have more of a crafting area. And another thing, if you don't want to have something big and bulky like a wall, this, again, as I mentioned earlier, trapdoors are nice. They're small, thin, and you can pop them up. If you want to have a little bit more viewing room, you can use some of the ones like the regular oak or the acacia here, which has a little bit of room in it. Or you can go for the dark oak and spruce, which is a solid block and adds a nice little detail to the wall. So it breaks up the room a little bit, but you still can see the entire room. And you can walk up the staircase, makes a nice little handy dandy railing. And all I want to do right now is punch in, I'm thinking a window in the back and then a door, but I just want to do a quick little pan around the house. There's the podzol and the jungle leaves for the little bushes I was talking about. I like using jungle leaves. They're a little bit fuller than the other blocks, but it's whatever you have access to. And as I mentioned earlier, when I'm putting in windows and stuff to block off the end of the logs there, since I'm not making out of regular wood, I'm using the strip logs, just some vertical pieces. It looks nice and breaks up the detail a little bit. And then we're going to do the same for a door, but we have this nice flat wall here where you can place your furnaces and stuff that you prefer to have up against the wall, and you don't have to worry about blocking off a perfectly good window. So let's do one little detail. What I wanted to do was have a pathway come out from from the garage doors to be a little driveway and make a little garden here, but due to time limit on the video and the size of my island, I do not. So the last thing I'm going to do before I pan around is just pop in a door, which this seems to be the ideal spot. So place in a floor block there. I like to have my back towards where I place the door, so it kind of goes in a little bit. And then all we have left to do is pop in some vertical logs, and there we have a little doorway. So we can walk in and out of the house from the back way, and this maybe goes into a little garden, backyard area that's fenced off from the rest of the house. And you have your two doors in the front, which are designed to look like garage doors but function as regular doors. And that is pretty much going to be it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you didn't enjoy it, please hit the dislike button. Comment down below what you thought about the video, anything you find interesting, funny, or any ideas you would have or recommendations for future videos. If you do decide to give this build a try or anything similar, you can send me a picture over on Twitter, because I would love to see it. And also follow me on Twitter, because I do post when I'm streaming. Right now it's up in the air. I was using Mixer, but due to quality issues, I'm giving Twitch a shot, so that one seems to be working out a little bit better. So I haven't figured that out yet. So usually in the little post, I'll have a link to where I'm streaming. And other than that, please subscribe to the channel, because I always have more content coming on the way. And other than that, this is Sergeant Alex, and I do hope you have a nice day. Bye.